Gary, you've owned your business for a couple years now. Have you felt the tax changes at all?
Again, for us, it's different. We definitely have, but I don't think on the scale that most larger business, or maybe Mallory, feels. So for us, and we have a really good accountant.
Same. It's key.
Yeah, it's key. So for us, we've been able to make adjustments and kind of, I won't say fight off, but just make adjustments necessary to withstand those policy changes. And so it hasn't been a very huge factor for us. But again, we are in the very infancy stages of our business. And I imagine as we scale, these will become larger issues for us, and we'll be reaching out to one of these guys to help us.
Does it enable you to do anything? I don't know, buy new machines or buy a new camera?
Yeah. Always. We do buy equipment. We try to stay up to date. As you know, it's a very technology-driven field, and so if you don't have the latest equipment, you're kind of behind. And so for us, we try to renew our equipment yearly. And there are incentives for that as far as tax breaks and things like that, putting the money back into the business. And so we do feel relief there.
What about you, Mallory? Was that at all a factor as you look to expand?
It's definitely something I take into consideration. I've been lucky to have a profit in my business, but seeing that money be put aside for taxes can hurt sometimes. So,
yes.
I wouldn't say that I feel it as much, but it's definitely something that I am constantly thinking about, because every time, you're not getting a paycheck from another person and that's automatically taken out. I have to account for my employee taxes and my income tax and my sales tax and all of those things that I need to pull from my business every month to pay. So it's very much top of mind.
Tom, do we need another tax cut? The president has floated the idea that maybe he would like to do another, and I think he said 10% for the middle class. Some of that could be for small business owners. Is that needed, or have we done enough to really stimulate the economy?
Well, the lens we always look through at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce is growth. And so we see growth happening right now with the tax cuts that happened around Christmas time last year. And we have yet to see whether or not additional tax cuts are required to keep the 3% growth going in the economy. There are a couple of things, though, that are important in the small business tax world. A lot of these incentives that Gary and Mallory talked about, they might be going away after 2025. And so the House passed legislation that would make those permanent. We had several hundred small businesses here for our summit just earlier last month, the first week of October. And many of them went to Capitol Hill, and they asked Congress, make those tax cuts permanent. And so I'm not sure if that meets the definition of additional tax cuts, but it's certainly a priority for the small businesses we talk with.
And you really think that would be a game changer to make those permanent?
I think so. I mean, like many folks, small business owners would like to have the luxury of planning multiple years ahead. So when they're making investment decisions on whether they want to grow their storefront or expand their technology, they want to be able to look past next month. They want to look past next year. And the ability for them to plan past 2025 and count on certain parts of the tax code changes is very important.